how does one escape 9 to 5? Escaping the 9 to 5 grind is actually very difficult. And one of the big problems that many of us have in life, and I faced this early on too, is you just get sucked into being busy. And you get sucked into being busy because you have a job. The job kind of chews up all of your time from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You get home, you're exhausted. How are you supposed to work on anything else? So I think the key there is trying to find a career or a job or an education where you will end up in a business where the inputs and the outputs are disconnected. What I mean by that is, let's say that you were growing up in the world 2,000 years ago. Almost all the jobs you could have back then, the inputs and the outputs are very tightly connected. So if you go and you have to go cut wood, you spend 4 hours cutting wood, you get 4 hours worth of cutting wood output. There'll be a very slight difference between the two. But nowadays, you have knowledge worker jobs, you have intellectual jobs, programming being my favorite example, where a good developer can write a piece of code that can literally make your business hundreds of millions of dollars over the next few years. And there are developers who can write code all day long. And just because they're creating the wrong thing, it's actually not creating value no matter how hard they work. So yeah, customers don't care about inputs. They only care about outcomes and outputs. So if you can navigate towards a career where you're tracked on the output, you're going to do much better. What are examples of careers? So I gave coding as an example, but actually sales is another one of those examples, and especially very expensive sales, very high-end sales. So like if you're out there, for example, if you're selling houses, if you're a real estate agent, right? Not a great job necessarily, very, very crowded. But if you're a top flight real estate agent, you know how to market yourself, you know how to sell houses. It's possible you could sell $5 million mansions in a tenth the time that somebody else is struggling to sell $100,000 apartments or condos. So that is a job where input and output are highly disconnected. Coding and sales, what else? Well, actually building any product and selling any product. And fundamentally, what else is there? So what you don't necessarily want to be in is a support role, like a customer service kind of role. For example, customer service, unfortunately, inputs and outputs map relatively closely towards each other. The amount of hours put in matters. So it helps to move towards things that have these skill sets where it's very hard to match inputs to outputs.